everybody. Lucas Haneman here. Welcome to this week's episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday, which is asking the question, what is the one piece of gear that you could not live without? And on this week's episode, I want to focus on pedals and amplifiers, because of course, our hands and our favorite guitars are the thing that we cannot live without. But is there one piece of gear that you would like to keep around for the rest of your life? Is there a piece of gear that you feel gives you your sonic signature as a guitar player? And if you're lucky enough, maybe, like me, it's something that no one else really uses to your knowledge. At least no one who's well known. This piece of gear right here has been my constant companion for the past 8 years. This is a Kingsley Minstrel Tube Overdrive pedal. And to me, as an electric guitar player, it's the one thing that I do not leave my house without. I'll bring different amplifiers. I'll play festivals where I plug into whatever amplifier they have around. I'll bring different guitars depending on the situation, although I do have my couple of favorites, my number ones. But this is the thing that has only come off my pedal board for the first time right now. You guys are pretty lucky. I hauled this thing off my pedal board for the first time since I got it in 2012. And it's been my constant companion, as I said. Now, these pedals are made by a lovely gentleman from the west coast of Canada named Simon Jarrett, who immigrated here from England many years ago. And he makes fantastic pedals as well as fantastic amplifiers. I've got this Kingsley amplifier right behind me there that I'm plugged into today. But I've had this pedal since 2012. In fact, it was a very, very generous Christmas gift from my lovely father, Wayne. And I just remember plugging into it and not touching any of the controls for about an hour, just getting lost in the sound that I had dialed up on that pedal right away. And it blew my mind because it sounded like my amplifier had another overdrive channel. It's that good. It really sounds like an amplifier, in my opinion. And as electric guitar players, I really think the overdrive sound is a huge part of our sonic signature. So, right now, I'm in the lowest gain setting on the pedal because I don't like to use a ton of gain usually, unless the situation calls for it. But to me, this is a really great mid-focused bluesy sound with a lot of warmth. So right now on that demo there at the beginning of the track of the video, I was on my bridge pickup. So if I hit the guitar lightly, it's very clean. And if I dig in, it's just got a nice bite, which I love. Sometimes I'll goose this pedal with others just to give myself a little bit extra hair for a solo, something like that. But often for rhythm guitar parts or even for leads, this is where I live. And I can ride my volume control to clean it up or to make it more overdriven. And it sounds great on any of the pickup selections. So that's the overdrive sound that I have used for all 3 albums I've done with my band, the Lucas Haneman Express, and any of the sideman work I've done as well for other people's albums or other live gigs. This is pretty much the overdrive sound I use. Now, this is mode 1. If I go to mode 2 on this pedal, which there's a handy little switch back here, it's a higher gain mode with more mids and a little bit more low end. So to me, that channel 1 is very much like a cranked amp, kind of like a cranked Fender or a cranked Vox. It really reminds me even of like a really old school plexi, like a cranked amp sound. like those, Allman Brothers Live at the Fillmore type sounds. This mode 2, is kind of getting into what I would kind of call the Dumble territory, the Dumble Overdrive Special type territory, where you have more mids and you have a bit more overdrive. Now, if I just bring my gain control down a little bit just to compensate for the extra volume that you get in this mode, you'll hear this type of a tone from it. So depending on how I feel, sometimes I'll use this mode too, if I want a little bit more juice. I can even bring down the gain, bring up the volume. Which to me sounds like that mode 1 I was in, but just a bit fatter, which sometimes if I'm playing a single coil guitar, that's the sound I want. But this mode here, you can get quite a bit of gain, so I just brought up the gain. So it sounds great. The other amazing thing about this pedal is it has a 3-band EQ section. So if I bring down the bass, you're going to hear it really thins it out a lot. If I bring the bass up and bring the mids out, you'll hear. The tone of the pedal a lot. Very interesting there with the crank mids. And of course the treble control can really darken it up or really brighten it up. So that's very cool as well. Now if I bring the gain control down a bit and go down to mode 3, yes, there is still more on tap with this wonderful pedal. Here's mode 3. So this mode has more treble, less mids, and a bit more of that kind of cranked modern Marshall or modern kind of Mesa Boogie type sound. If I bring the gain up even more, volume down a bit, obviously, I want to make sure I don't peak too much. You can hear a real modern rock sound going on here. I'm going to bring the bass up, bring the mids up a bit. amazing. I don't play in that mode too much. I'm going to go back to mode 1 just so you can hear the contrast. Bring the controls back to where I like to keep them set. Here. And yeah, this is my sound right here. So, this is the piece of gear that I cannot live without. This is the piece of gear that I feel like has made me have my voice through any amplifier, on any stage, with any electric guitar. This pedal right here is so great that I really feel like I should buy a backup, because these pedals are absolutely amazing. They have two 12AX7 tubes. He makes a new version now with just one 12AX7. Which means that you can actually power it off of a traditional 9-volt power supply. This one actually has to use a 12-volt power supply, but it doesn't bother me at all. Anyways, I should get back to putting this thing on my board where it rightfully belongs, but I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below, what is the one piece of gear that you could not live without? That's about it for this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will see everybody again next Tuesday.